Hey guys, in today's video, I will be talking about a very important concept in human resources, competency mapping. Before we jump into that, please do take a moment to subscribe to my channel for weekly videos on HR topics and hit that bell icon to stay tuned for a new video every week. So let's begin. Competencies are a proven way to improve organization performance. They are effective because they go beyond the basic requirements of a job to identify the behaviors that the top performers demonstrate. Instead of focusing on what a person typically does on the job, competencies describe how a highly effective individual will achieve success. So, what is competency? Simply put, competency is the ability of a person to do something efficiently or successfully. For example, for a customer service executive, a competency may be to handle customer queries and give them solutions. Or say, for a receptionist, a competency may be to welcome the visitors and attend to the incoming calls. But we must be very clear that there is a difference between a skill and a competency. Often, people get confused with them and use them interchangeably. Definition of a skill is the ability required to perform a job successfully. For example, managing accounts, computer proficiency, sales skills, etc. Competency, on the other hand, is a combination of knowledge and behaviors required for the success of that job. For example, creative thinking, analytical ability, leadership, teamwork, etc. Now that we understand what is competency and the difference between a skill and a competency, let's understand what is competency mapping. It is nothing but a process of identifying individual strengths and weaknesses. These competencies are then aligned to the job that the individual is required to perform. It basically analyzes two skills, behavioral and functional. Functional skills include practical knowledge a person needs to perform the job. These are easy to measure by analyzing the employee performance. Behavioral skills, on the other hand, includes the personality of the individual like teamwork, leadership, or creative thinking. These are not so easy and takes time to ascertain these skills. Why should organizations do competency mapping? Basically, it helps in ascertaining available skill sets in the organization, level of those skills, identifying skill gaps, evaluating hiring needs, evaluating training needs. There are various methods of competency mapping. Let's understand some of them. First is assessment centers. Please note that it is not a location. It is a mechanism to identify the potential for growth that uses a variety of techniques to evaluate employees for manpower purposes and decision making. You can gather the desired information through interviews, role plays, group discussions, or case studies. Second is critical incidence technique. It is a process of systematically identifying the behaviors that contribute to the success or failure of the competencies in specific situations. It involves direct observation of the employee in specific situations. First step would be to make a list of good and bad behaviors. Next is training the supervisors to note down incidents when the employee was successful or not in meeting those job requirements. Then, at the end of the year, a balance sheet for each employee is created to find out how well the employee has performed. The third method is interview technique. The interview basically consists of an interaction between the interviewer and an applicant, right? If handled properly, it can be a powerful technique in achieving accurate information and getting access to the material which is otherwise unavailable. So, how do you do it? Define critical aspects of the job for which questions will be asked and how they will be rated. To get the best response from the interviewee, build a rapport and make them feel comfortable by starting to ask questions which are easy and then gradually moving to complex questions. Fourth method is questionnaires. Questionnaires are written lists of questions that users fill out and return. Competencies required for a job are best answered by the individual performing the job, right? But this can also be further validated by the supervisor from their point of view as well. You begin by formulating questions of the role, based on the type of information you want to collect, and then you form a questionnaire. The next method is psychometric tests. Now, these are standardized and scientific tools used to assess the mental capacities and the behavioral styles of employees in any organizations. In fact, many organizations use this as a part of their selection process as well. Most tests could be classified in three broad categories. First is the aptitude test. It determines the capacity of an individual to acquire a skill through training. Second is achievement test. It helps to determine the level of proficiency an individual has in any given area. And third is personality test. These are a description of the unique traits and characteristics that influence individual behavior. Now, some of the advantages of competency mapping are it basically increases the awareness of existing skill sets as well as the skill gaps in the organization. It aids the organization to increase their efficiency. It helps the organization to align their key strategies across different departments to have common objectives and accurate results. It helps in understanding the scope and the requirements of a specific role. It establishes expectations for performance at different positions of the organization. It also forms an accurate work and job satisfaction for the employees. And finally, growth and effectiveness of a training and development, as it is the main motive to succeed with more efficiency. Now let's understand how to go about competency mapping with the example of a sales manager. First is to identify the functional and the behavioral competencies of a sales manager, say by using interview method. The functional competency of a sales manager is to achieve the sales target, right? The behavioral competency of a sales manager might include that he or she needs to maintain a good rapport with clients. They need to be proactive in handling client queries. Third, they should find creative ways to achieve their sales target. And fourth could be venture into new markets to generate sales. Then you define the level of expertise of the sales manager. In level 1, they understand the concept of sales. However, they do not apply it 100%. In level 2, they consistently apply the knowledge and take initiatives to improve their sales targets. In level 3, they are an expert in their job and can even mentor newcomers to enhance their performance. So finally, in the last step, depending upon the performance, identify which level the individual falls in. So this is how you do competency mapping. Hope this information helped. If you like this video, please do like, comment and share. Also, drop a suggestion in the comments for any topics that you would like me to make a video on. Do subscribe to my channel for weekly shots of HR information. See you soon.